baby, we're back. We're back. Bitcoin's at $74,000 again, just like last Friday. So replay of last Friday, actually. Gold and oil looking like they're topping, putting in the old bull trap before heading to doomsday. Maybe not necessarily oil, but gold certainly looking like that as of right now. However, traditional markets are the sort of wild card right here as they continue to held on for dear life. The old hodl right there. What's up, Mr. Caretaker? I see you in the comment section. Let me turn on the damn light. Yes, let there be light. Holy shit, we did it. Oh my God, I'm actually feeling good for once, man. I got a good night's sleep. Woke up a little bit later than usual, but that's okay. That's okay. We actually got things moving today, which is good. Something new is occurring, maybe, or maybe just another rejection at $74,000. And honestly, I don't want to give away too much of my cards here, but I'm not so convinced that this is going to be a runaway rally right here. I don't necessarily like that rejection that we did see on Friday, but have to keep the blinds open here for the BULAs as long as Bitcoin is more or less above Friday's low. So, do they have the ball in their court? Yes. Do some setups support higher prices, at least probabilistically speaking? Also, yes. But personally, I feel like I've just read this book so many damn times and seen this exact move or very similar moves like it several times in Bitcoin's past. So perhaps my conditioning is getting the better of me, but still, I will stick to my guns here. Friday's low, big inflection point for Bitcoin. As long as it's above it, BULA's got their chance. Below it, it's going to be looking like Bitcoin's going to get ready to test the bottom side of the range, which would force me to make some decisions with my options positions. But for right now, I mean, pretty fucking nice. Jack the Wick. Good morning to you, man. Cowboy NZ, Gropes, Ganks, Eratas, Mr. Cowboy NZ from the most beautiful land of all time, New Zealand. Maybe the most magical place other than Switzerland, perhaps. Dorkling Duck, ring, ring, ring. Simpson Virgins. Indeed, we got an OG in the house. Sem Fregosi as well. Good morning to you, man. AAP says, OMG, Grayscale bought Bitcoin for $5 million today. We're going to $1 million, by the way. Wow, that's actually really cool. Can I sell you one of those $1 million Bitcoins right now? It's at a good price, right? Happy triple top day, guys. God, that was actually quite difficult to say. Is this a triple top? I wouldn't really consider that, man. I guess it would be a double top if anything. I don't really care so much about double tops, triple tops, these sort of things. But they do produce, short-term sort of reactionary moves, which certainly can be tradable if you are more of a short-term timeframe scalper. In fact, speaking of short-term timeframe scalper, let's see what the daily price statistics are looking like today. Let's see, I got them right here. And where have we found our high? Is it right on side of the average daily returns range high? Actually, yes. Once again, the daily price statistics from Caretaker showing the way, man. Pretty fucking impressive right there. And this one, once again, getting a nice little intraday scalp there. And this is actually a really good example of kind of the sort of move that I'd be looking to play if I was playing that as a strategy. Right now, or recently, I really haven't been doing that. I really haven't been doing any short-term trading in the for Bitcoin recently. Just options. Options are, in my opinion, where it's at, especially as I get reacquainted with my love of options. Finishing up the Options 101 playlist, which... these quizzes are taking me longer than I expected, to be honest, man. I'm just so fucking anal when it comes to like options because I feel like that was my first love, and I feel like I really need to do it justice in order to feel good about it. So. Yeah, anyways, in this case right here, yeah, perfect wake up to that 400-ish number and coming back down. This would be your intraday scalp. I certainly would not get any more aggressive than right now, but hey, some people will, and that is, well, that's your discretion, I guess. So, you're free to do what the fuck you want to do. But at the end of the day, in my opinion, if you're taking a scalping trade like that, you take the money when it's in your hands and you run away and wait for the next day because you're probably going to get another opportunity the next day. It's a crazy idea. But yeah, man, crypto Twitter is so funny. Indeed, it is AAP. But actually, I don't even see crypto Twitter anymore. Well, first off, I don't really follow many people on crypto Twitter, so maybe that's why. But then I also just muted all of... This is a terrible thing to say, but I've actually muted almost everyone in the crypto space on Twitter, not because I hate them, but just because I don't fucking care. I don't want their opinions. I don't want to be inundated with these more or less just marketing techniques that they're employing across the world. It's just uninteresting to me, so I don't really care. And even some of my friends do, like, I have to mute them. It's like, dude, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I like you as a person, but as far as this Twitter content, I would perhaps look elsewhere. I mean, shit, man, I barely even go on Twitter anymore anyways, because I do it off my phone, which was absolutely necessary because I was getting sucked into the Twitter hole. So now I just look at Twitter when I'm on my computer. in between other tasks. But yeah, man, like I said, plenty of things to talk about today because there are things moving, especially with Bitcoin, especially with oil, especially with gold, and to a lesser extent, traditional markets. As I looked at earlier, yeah, they are still hanging on for dear life on these lows. Is this just a bit of a snapback rally before heading lower? I mean, you could definitely look at it as such on the weekly, but I still should be biased towards a little bit of a lower move here. A washout move to 6,500 would make a lot of sense to me in SPY. Looking at NASDAQ futures, same thing. A washout move to like 23,700 would make a lot of sense. But I could easily invalidate these moves and get instantly bullish. Instant bullish. It's a good name for some sort of a product. Instant bullishness. If it just trades back above last week's high, that would be the good inflection point. For NASDAQ futures, that's 25,217. And for SPY futures, that is 68.52. I don't think that's what's happening right here, but hey, if it did, instant bullishness for me at least. Chance to reclaim the 5-day 200 simple moving average today, says Bill Norblatt. Is it closing today? Actually did not see that myself, but maybe I missed that one. Yeah, it is. It is going to have a chance to do that, and it is closing today, 7 hours, 28 minutes, and 57 seconds and counting. Elsa wants her message pinned because we have to replace the current pinned message. What's up, Great White Hype? We'll get to that a little bit later as well. Definitely looks like it's rolling over. Yeah, I kind of agree with that one as well. But again, you always have to have your invalidation points because at the end of the day, you can never be 100% sure about anything. Thus, you need to have some sort of contingency plan based upon an invalidation at the maximum point of failure in which the probabilities change, and that would be it for me. Anyways, yeah, for Bitcoin right here, I mean, it will have a chance to reclaim the 200 simple on the 5-day. I actually don't think that would matter that much. You kind of expect price to chop around a major moving average like this. In the past, we did see Bitcoin kind of settle around this one several times in 2022. And actually, to be fair, to your point, actually simple closes just below or above have led to monumental moves. So, well, I mean, could be worthwhile. The thing is, though, is that on the break over here that we saw in early February, that's not as big of a move as what we've seen in the past when this thing typically does break. I guess maybe comparable to the old 2020 coronavirus dump right here. But other than that, man, this one's been really clean, actually. In fact, it's been incredibly clean. I'm glad that you brought this up. I did not see this myself. The only unclean iteration would be right here from March 2015, where you did get a closure above, but no continuation. And of course, on the reversal right here as well in November 2015. But other than that, every other one has been pretty, yeah, very clean actually on these breaks. So I don't know, if you do close above there, it'd be obviously good. It's a long day left to go, and you'd have to close above 73,541, which it's very close to right now. I mean, less than $100, which is a fucking sneeze for Bitcoin. So yeah, possible. I mean, if that happens, I'd give credence to the $77,000 to $80,000 target, which Bitcoin very well may hit on this rally. I'm still a little bit more on the defensive side personally. I feel like the $74,000 target was a big one. We've hit that, and I don't like this sort of hesitation around that same level right here. But again, my invalidation for short-term bullishness is Friday's low, below Friday's low. Yeah, send it back down to the bottom side of the range. I'll probably have to cover some of my options positions, which I'll show right here. Still the same one as before, but I'm just letting this one slowly expire. In fact, if I'm actually like on my real account, I can show, or I don't want to show my real account for, obvious reasons, but the way that this one's showing profit right now is it's a little bit over $20,000 because these premiums have collapsed so much. Now the maximum profit again is 32,700 for this position. I'm gonna continue to hold it right here. I mean, Bitcoin's nowhere near where I need to start to cover, which is below $65,000. So I'm just going to be patient. And hey, if it does start to come down before the 27th of March, all right, I cover. And honestly, it'll probably end up working out to be even better. just to be super frank with you. But yeah, right now, as long as Bitcoin's above $61,000, that will be a full profit maximum, $32,700 profit position. In the meantime, I'm waiting for the fucking Glock 19 Generation 6 to come in stock around here. I told myself I'd never buy a Glock because they're too hood, but now I held one in my hands. They're really good. They feel really good. Like, I get it. They are actually quite nice. Anyways, you don't give a fuck about that, or perhaps some people do. Apparently, we got a lot of gun nuts in this community, of which I'm one. I heard a statistic the other day that if you have 0 guns, you're a crazy person. If you have 1 gun, you're probably a woman. If you have 5, normal person. 10 guns, you start to go into, preparedness, let's say. 25, well preparedness, and 50 is when you actually start to turn into a crazy person. So I'm working my way there. I'm definitely a crazy person, but it might take some time. It might take some time to get over there. Asian Massage says, "Oh, come on, you answered the door for some guy who wanted to fix your TV. What could go wrong? What are you talking about, sir?" Maybe I'm reading this out of Decentralized says, "Instant bullish coffee." What's up, Decentralized? Good to see you, man. One moment. You got to try the SIG triggers. Really? Huh. Interesting. I have not had too much love for Sig Sauer, to be honest with you. I kind of look at them as like the Apple of the gun world. It's like they're just overpriced for the pace for the, you know, for the privilege of being overpriced. And I don't know, I just haven't really liked the way that they feel that much, except for my buddy who has a 226 Legion, which feels really fucking good in the hands, but I don't really want a 2011 right now. Consider getting a 40 cal. Wait, what? Can shoot 9mm 40 cal. 357 is 40 cal like, oh no, I'm thinking of 50 cal. God, yeah. What's up, Andreas? Good morning to you as well, man. SIG is greater than Glock. Maybe so. I mean, again, at the end of the day, like, I'm not so fussed with handguns, to be honest. I love the ARs. The ARs are where it's at, man. Those are so much fun, man. That's America's gun. That's a real American gun. Real fucking Americans. If you're American right now and you're watching this, stop watching, or you can watch this, you know, just put it on in the background. Go to your local gun store and buy a gun. Unless if you're in California or Pennsylvania, I think too, is the one that's fucked up. Yeah, it's crazy. It's either Virginia or Pennsylvania where they're enacting a law right now where they're banning, I think, most guns, or at least most assault rifles or most magazines or something like this. And they're banning it for all of the people, literally except for explicitly the people in government, which is so brazenly crazy. I mean, for fuck's sake, man, who actually reads the Constitution these days anymore? It's like no one fucking knows. No one fucking knows. We're just standing on the shoulders of giants, men who are much better than us, and we no longer know the lessons that they had learned and that they had hard fought for. And unfortunately, we are letting it go, and it's very sad. Very, very sad indeed. Gay Genius, something like that. Probably pissing off the lefties of this chat. I apologize, man. I probably share some views with you as well, but yeah. Anyways, let's talk about some corns. Let's talk about some corns over here. Oh, by the way, I should let you know. Fuck, man, I've done such a terrible job of this. We have a sale going on. It's the 8th year anniversary of this channel, and the code is 8 and then in all capitals with no space, YEAR. That'll bring you over, or that will get you 20% off of any one of the programs or services in the link in the description below for Teachable, which is right here. Boom. And all you need is that code. It applies to literally everything. There are no exceptions. And also, while you're there, you can get for free, as is always, the TA 101 playlist, which is right here. That is literally at a cost of 0. You can also apply the 20% off code for that. It will work. It'll get you 20% off of the cost of 0. Great deal, great price. But yes, indeed. Anyways, for the stragglers of the sale, it goes on until this Friday, and then it's over until next year when we have our 9th year anniversary, assuming that I'm still alive, hopefully. Anyways, getting back into it, let's go over some of the major setups that we were looking at from last week. Or actually, it looks like, did I bring this one up right here? Yes. Okay, beautiful. All right, so last week we were looking at several setups. Obviously, the $74,000 target did get hit. That was based off of the daily 5 versus 21 EMA crossover here. That actually happened on Friday, and then we got our second test today. And obviously, you know, that's a minimum target. So Bitcoin kind of hanging around this region, I think is... Obviously is better than not. It puts Bitcoin in a position of power to break out. But my personal opinion is that this will actually fail. I think that Bitcoin will turn down from here. That is my personal opinion. Not supported by TA, not supported by probabilities. I'll show you the probabilities right now. You make the decision for yourself. But first, we'll go over some of the Medicinal setups, because Medicinal also has their own offer going away at the end of this month. You will no longer be able to get their lifetime offer, which actually even includes my TA 101 program, or not my TA 101, my full TA program. But this one, and also options and everything else too. But this 45-minute time frame setup did fire off. I believe it was last Friday. That was on the 14th. So that was actually Saturday. Sorry. Target number 1 already got hit. Target number 2 has already got hit. Target number 3 is $75,000. This one has a just around 24.5% probability to get hit. So rather low. For me, that's not worth betting on. Target number 1, target number 2, decent enough right there. They did post this one in real time on their Twitter as well. And of course, with those targets higher, there is a probability. It's just, relatively lower. Let's combine that with the daily setup, which hasn't gone away. This daily setup fired off like a long time ago. In fact, it was last month, more than three weeks, on February 27th, when Bitcoin was trading at 67,450. Bitcoin's already hit target number one, obviously. That one had a very high probability. That was also kind of going into our analysis that, hey, Bitcoin's looking for a rally above 70,000 bucks. Target number two is $77,000. That has a probability of 43.90%. So that's decent. That's decent. And that would be my next target if Bitcoin does continue here, somewhere around 77,000 bucks, a little bit above there, anywhere between there basically and $79,000. So that is the continuation target, and it is valid in my mind as long as Bitcoin's above Friday's low. Again, Friday's low is where my sort of suspicion turns into a valid likelihood that Bitcoin will turn down and, come back down to the range lows. But of course, going on from there are actually more setups here. One of the ones was a big one over here. This was the daily time frame. Same setup between the red 5 EMA and the yellow 21 EMA, just not applied to Bitcoin spot, but applied to Bitcoin on CME. That one did cross officially last Friday. And that green 55 EMA is a minimum corrective target for this setup. And that is just above $77,000. So very much correlates well to this setup over here. Now, the probability of that a little bit it's not necessarily low. It's just not super, super high. But when we go back into it here, there is a report to be done on this one as well. What's it called? We're going to use the Quant Prime service to back test this, is what I'm getting at. And I want to acknowledge first, if we look at all the iterations of this in Bitcoin's past, there's only been 26. And of those 26, 13 of them, literally half, have played out in a positive manner from open to closure. But because the returns of the winners are significantly higher than the losers, you actually get a pretty nice equity curve right here, which is not bad. I mean, you have a profit factor of 2.915. So if you have a win rate of 50%, that's going to be money long term. Now, this one, just like all of the others, does have a 50% probability to get hit, in which that $77,000 target is a minimum target, and 50% versus target number two over here, which is at 43.90, very similar. So I do like the confluence there. Obviously, that is going to be the next target if Bitcoin does continue here. How would you confirm continuation? I mean, I think that target is valid to be looking at as long as you're above Friday's low. But if you really, really, really wanted to validate it, without any remorse, all we need to really see is a daily closure above that high, that first rejection from 74,000 bucks on the 4th of March. Officially at 74,365. If we see that, then yeah, send it up another few $1,000s to 77,000 bucks. So yeah, definitely possible right there. But keep in mind, let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. I would like to keep it real, right? Elsa, don't laugh, okay? There's no laughing. This is really serious stuff. We're talking about magic. What's funny about keeping it real? Disgusting. Elsa would rather keep it fake rather than keeping it real. Yeah. It's true. Like, you think it's funny, but honestly, it's just immature. It's sophomoric. Only an immature fool like you would laugh at such things. Okay, we are much more sophisticated here, all right? We hang out together in our Magic Internet cave, and we look at the Magic Internet beans. But the point that I'm working towards is, look, whether this thing stops here at 74, whether it stops at 77 or even $80,000, it's another fucking lower high. It's another fucking lower high. The one thing that I'm extremely, extremely confident on of Bitcoin here is that you're not going to see any crazy, and I'm keeping it real, move like this, where it just goes straight up past 90,000 bucks to 100,000 bucks. I mean, I think that's the least likely thing to happen here. I think whether you're bullish or bearish, whether Bitcoin rejects here or even 80,000 bucks, it's coming back down and you're playing out a sideways range for a while. My personal opinion is that you'll see something like this. I can be wrong on that. Again, that opinion cannot be validated until Bitcoin is closing back down below Friday's low. Until then, technically speaking, upside is the more likely thing. And of course, we also do have another setup over here. We haven't been looking at the weekly or we haven't been looking at the HBDR for a while now. There just haven't been that many setups, although there was one that I missed significantly. It was a 5-day setup right here on the vol reversion. feel kind of bad about that one because it did call a move from 66 all the way up to 74, which, I mean, that would have been quite nice. But anyways, we do have another setup on the weekly time frame in which we see volatility contracting from extreme highs right here, the highest level that we've seen on the weekly since basically November of 2024. These are very comparable levels, and before that was March of 2024. So again, giving you some insight into the sort of meaning of this, like, probably stuck in a sideways range for a long time. But in the short term, that median on the HPDR is a legitimized target until Bitcoin meets it. And it only moved down. It moved down significantly from last week to this week. It moved from 86 to 80,000 bucks, but is right now at about $82,000. It could very well be that Bitcoin does hit it, but it happens next week and it comes down another, 6,000 bucks, and then it's, somewhere down around like 74,000 bucks. It's very, very possible. So it is there. And we also do see the weekly HPDRO representing directional volatility headed up as well. But yeah, I mean, it is there. So there are several setups that still do support the upside. I'm just applying my personal opinion on it, for better or worse. I can easily be wrong on these things, and I would not just blindly trade that right now. Again, I need to see my validation before that even becomes, a relevant consideration, let's say. But yeah, I'm gonna take another sip of this water. Not water. This is caffeine, man. Another Kirkland cold brew. Again, Costco just fucking killing the game. I would hate to be in the food business and compete with Kirkland. It can't be done. It can't be done. All of these brands must just lose their shit as soon as Kirkland announces that they're going to start to create similar products to them. It can't be beat. It's high quality and it's lower price. Like, what more could you ask for? It's actually really fucking good. It's really fucking good. This is way better than the Starbucks cold brew. I can tell you straight up, because I'm drinking many of them. I'm telling you, many of them. This is better. It's way better, and it's significantly less expensive as well. All right, cool. Now, alluding to the title of this video, let's go over some of these traditional market assets, or let's go over at least gold. So gold, we've been following for a while now, and it's been moving slow like molasses recently, but it has not discounted the signals that we've been plotting here. One, we see on Caretaker's RSI a few drives of bearish divergence on the weekly time frame. This is usually going to be good enough to at least get a move down to my general minimum target, which is the yellow 21 EMA, and that's at 46.55. So I'm still sticking with what I've been saying for a while now. I think that you're going to see a downside move. I think the next move is to the downside here. I'm not necessarily calling this like a macro top for forever, but it's absolutely a major top. I mean, especially with the volatility reads that we saw over here on that high, the highest that has ever been ever in, compared to the look back. And then we're all seeing the Krown oscillator turn down. All of these things and more do suggest to me that we will see this one play out some nice downside move. Also, we got a corrective signal over here incoming on the daily, I believe it is. Yeah, sorry, it's not just incoming, it is there. And it is the interplay, that same corrective signal between the red 5 EMA and the yellow 21 EMA. And short term, somewhere down around that 55 is a legitimate minimum target, which is just below 4,900. So I would be expecting a bounce around there as well. But higher term timeframes, I think, take over from there. After a bounce, probably does come down a lot more. I'm still looking at that as very, very likely. I think the monthly is going to come down and kiss that red 5 EMA. Probably doesn't break this month. I doubt that it'll break this month. I think if it is going to fully break down and you see like a 3 handle on this thing, that's going to be that's going to be like a Q2 thing. Maybe it happens in April, maybe it happens in May. I don't fucking know, but just general down from there. If that does happen. Of course, we also have been looking at oil represented by crude light right here. This one also coming down significantly below $100. This one, damn, man. Okay, I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but I am, after so many fucking disastrous fails with oil, I feel pretty good about this one. Not gonna lie. That's the ego speaking right there. But I do have to say, it's true, man. It's true. Because I fucking hate oil. But why? Because I'm terrible at it. But in this case, we called a top right here. We said it's a quick move down to like an 80 or a 75 rate. He got that, followed by a quick bounce, topping out somewhere between 98 to 102. And where did it get to? It got to about 102. Bless you, Elsa. And so I'm kind of looking for this one to come down from here. How would this one really confirm that it isn't a bull trap? It would need to come back down and close below last Thursday's low, which is 88.61. Below there, I confirm this as a bull trap, and I look for this thing to collapse all the way back down and fill this gap in the mid 60s. Probably comes around a lot of news. And honestly, Oil right now, in general, has been like the sort of mainstream topic of conversation. And when I see shit like that, just like when Bitcoin was a mainstream topic of conversation, just like when gold was a mainstream topic of conversation, all of these things, it's almost always around major macro highs, or at least major highs, sometimes macro highs. You know, when I hear my favorite podcaster speak about this, I think he's very bright, he's very intelligent, but he doesn't, his business isn't markets. He doesn't spend all of his waking hours looking at that. He's looking at all of the news and shit like that, and whatnot. And then he starts talking about it. That is usually indicative that this move is done for now. And I'm still looking at this as likely right there too. So anyways, I think I've gotten through everything that I want to speak about right now. Let's get over to some good old super chats, and Elsa's already got them lined up. We got Steven Schickman first. He's looking at he says GM. Good morning to you as well, sir. GLL daily weekly. Gotcha, man. GL. I know you've been looking at this one a lot recently. And is this the gold short? Yeah, it is the gold short. Yeah, I mean, just like gold spot, I do think that gold spot comes down, in which case this thing probably goes up. It's still in a pretty monumental downtrend, obviously. So it's like, how bullish can you really get? Not really, but you could easily put in the next lower high somewhere around like $22. Still another lower high, but it's a big fucking move from where you're right now. That's like a 30% move almost, right? Let me actually measure that one out. I think it is about a 30% move, but let's see. Yeah, close to it. 27% move. I'm off by 3%. Bad Krown. But yeah, if there ever was a place for a balance, this would be it. You're also seeing, you're seeing your classic signs of a short-term reversal as volume kind of fades on the, next moves down. And then also, you do have bullish divergence here as well building, or actually, sorry, on the weekly, there is not bullish divergence, although of course we did see bearish divergence for gold spot. So I would go with gold spot. Again, I'm not a humongous fan of like these ultra shorts, these sort of things, but fair enough. It's like you can be right on direction, but still lose money on these things, unfortunately. Steven Schickman says socks, same please. Sure, man. SOXS. This is semiconductor bear 3x ETF. Again, I have to say the same thing here. I really hate these, 3x bears, 3x bulls. Really think that they're dangerous. I don't like them at all. But if I'm looking at this, this is another great place for another lower high here. I'd be looking for this thing to come down. I'd be bullish on SOX. Semiconductors generally, you're seeing also, actually, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong about this one. I mean, you are seeing a volume extreme here, like a very extreme. I mean, this is the highest it's ever been ever for this thing, but it is one of these 3x bears, so I don't know how much it matters actually on these things. Either which way, though, I would still be following the yellow brick trend here to the downside. I think that this thing is bearish more than bullish. Or I mean, it's obviously bearish rather than bullish, but you're getting some toppy signals right here. I'm going to play the toppy signals when you're in a downtrend just because they're more likely to play out. So, I'd be looking for this thing to come back down to the lows, probably make new lows overall. I'm only bullish on it, and bullish is not even the right word. It'd just be looking for a bigger move to the upside if and only if it can trade and close back above this high from the 9th of March at 48.25. At that point, yeah, send it up to, I don't know, could easily have moved to like $60 or so, but I don't think that that's what's happening there personally. Anyways, Freddie M says RCAT daily, breakout above $18 to new highs soon. Define soon, sir. Always difficult to answer a question like that because, I mean, I think if you fast forward 6 months from now, yeah, it's going to be above $18. If you fast forward 1 week from now, is it going to be above $18? I don't know about that, man. I'm more inclined to say this one's going to come back down into range and try for another higher low and then try the breakout rather than trying to, move to the upside from here. So if you're talking about soon in the way that I would interpret soon, I would say no. I don't think it's ready right here. I think that this thing wants to consolidate a little bit more, probably try a short-term downside move, try for a higher low, and then try the upside move. Long-term is still bullish, though. I still hold it. Again, full disclosure, I hold it. I'm bullish. This monthly is very obviously bullish. So, maybe next month, maybe at the end of this month, something like that, it tries for that move. But I think in the short term, you probably come back down, try for that higher low, and then lift off. I think that's a little bit more likely, personally. And again, full disclosure, I own a lot of that one. Luffy Morodova says, hi, sir, I want your permission to short syrup. Oh, God. Well, I remember this one is just a random shitcoin, right? So let's see. I mean, never a bad idea to short random shitcoins. Would I short it right here? I can understand why you'd short it right here. I personally wouldn't take it, especially as long as Bitcoin's kind of above its pivot, because I do think you're a little bit more likely personally to try the tops out of this formation. So if we follow the price action pivots, trendline extensions here, I actually do think you will kind of play off this. And so can you eat a move to like 30 cents or 32 cents? It's a really big move from where you're at right now. Like, that's like 20 to 30%. So I personally would not. I could understand why you'd want to right there. I personally would not. I would look for the move here and be a lot more interested in shorting this rather than from right here. It's just easier to manage. Just a lot easier to manage. So you might be right if you do take a short right here. I just personally wouldn't take it. I'm not okay with that risk. And I do think that it will test somewhere right around here. That's just a personal opinion, but yeah. In other words, it's like, I think you're right on direction. I just don't think it's the right time for that, personally. But look, I mean, if you can survive, price going in your face, by a decent margin, I think if you just fast forward enough time, you're going to be on the right side. I mean, this thing obviously is, it's just a fucking random shitcoin. Like, obviously it's going to go down, but, or it's very likely to go down, blah, blah, blah. You get what I'm saying. But it's, do I think you get a better entry? Probably, yeah. I think that you probably get up to at least like 28 cents, maybe 29 cents, something like that. Again, just personal opinion. Anyways, Luffy's back. She's now going after this is like the shorting fucking queen. This is great though. I love it. I fucking love it. Okay, her question is, I shorted Tau at 291 following your 285 to 295 idea. Do you think the rally topped? I'm short from 290. Let's see where it's at right now. It's trading at 285. So you're in the money by a little bit. I'm never going to hate shorting the 200 simple in an overall downtrend. I think it's super easy to manage right here. Basically, if it closes above today's high, which is almost $300, I would take the loss until then. I think you're on the right side of this thing. You have potential for hidden bearish evidence because the daily RSI is like way fucking above your January highs, which was trading over here at $300. And you're also seeing extremes on daily. Whoops. How do I undo that? Let me just undo that really quickly. You're seeing extremes on on daily volatility as well. So I'm inclined to say, look, if you're going to short it right there, that's exactly how I do it. Not because it's guaranteed to work out, because your risk is super defined. $300, close it above there, out. Until then, I think you're on the right side of this thing. Yeah, I mean, this is textbook stuff right here. Popping back up somewhere around that weekly 55 EMA in a downtrend, and also around that previous high. It's kind of where you got to be expecting the next lower high. So I like it. Again, your risk is very clearly defined. If you're cool with that risk, I would hold it. I think it's going to take some time to put in a top here. I think you're going to spike that $300 a few more times. So, be ready to, pucker up your Angus. But I don't know, if we fast forward like a week or two from now, do I think it's back down around $200? Probably, yeah. And that's a fucking massive move for you. It's like what, 40%, something like that. I like it though. Like, dude, she's had so many fucking good shorts. I love it. I fucking love it. Lucas Secord says, hello, Derps and Herps. I'm Derps and also Herps. Could we take a look at targets for Canadian dollar versus the real dollar? Sure. Weekly and daily targets. Well, depends what sort of a setup you got. I mean, right now I'm going to take a bearish look. I'm going to take a bearish stance on this, most likely. Yeah. Look, it's kind of similar to the last chart, although this one objectively, could be better. I mean, the last one was just a random shitcoin. This one, is like a real asset, a real fake asset, right? But super obvious and clear defined risk right here at the price action pivot at 73.84.5. As long as you're below there on a weekly closing basis, I treat this as the next lower high in a series of lowers highs in an asset that's been downtrending for the last 15 years. So what's my target? I don't know over the next time frame, but I generally think it's coming back down, to like 70 cents, 71 cents, probably even back down to this low if we fast forward a long enough time. I just don't know how long it's going to take. Yeah, I have no reason to be bullish on this really, but I would take the loss on a short if this thing does close back above basically the highs from January on a daily or a weekly closure above about 73 or 74 cents, whatever it is. Yeah, overall, just you send it back down. It's just a fake. It's a fake dollar. It's a fake dollar. Anyways, also GM, good morning to you as well, sir. Crypto Shard says Tau daily, how much more money is for Poppy? I think we just went over that one, but I don't know. If you're short, then maybe a lot of monies. If you're long, then get ready for some pain, man. I mean, I don't know. Do people actually believe in this shit? Well, more power to you. That's why we got markets, so that we can disagree with our finances and play war there. Yeah, Great by Hype says Tesla on the 4 hour daily. Sure, man. As always, full disclosure, I do own this one. It still is fighting valiantly to keep me in my position. Again, I'm long from much lower, to be fair. But my line in the sand is still here, 382.78 on a weekly closing basis. As long as you're above there, I give it a chance. Below there, I capitulate, I close, I take the profit, and maybe I reposition below $300. In fact, that's the only place I'd really be interested in repositioning if it were to happen. Other than that, you're looking at a 4 on daily, so that's a completely different story. Kind of got a higher low in here, but it's very weak as of right now. Same thing on the daily as well. I don't know. In the short term, if I'm on the daily, you could look at this as a potential pending reversal, but not because it's like super likely to happen. It's just because you got a super obvious invalidation point, which is just last Friday's low at 380 or 390, basically closing below there. I think this thing will retest the lows from March and probably break down. I think at that point you very likely do break down. But for right now, I can totally understand giving it a chance here. I'm giving it a chance as well. In the short term, just use last Friday's low as an inflection point, and a confirmation of your reversal will be had if it can trade and close back above last Wednesday's high at 416.35. Again, the price action pivot right here. Yeah, that would confirm a reversal back up to $470 to $500 to me. But for right now, it's weak, it's been in a downtrend. What I'm trying to say is I wouldn't be super surprised if it does break down here, but I can understand playing a position. Just last Friday's low, there's not a significant amount of risk in this one. If that's cool with you, then I would totally understand that. Straight Path says, what do you make of this on today's Bitcoin daily? Okay, that is a very discombobulated sentence. Sorry. I know I do it all the time too, man, but it's just difficult to read. 21 EMA below the 55. Volatility compressing, yet price stochastic RSI making higher high, higher low, still range bound. You can't, okay, this is a tremendous misconception with momentum oscillators. Momentum oscillators are best used in the same direction, in the same context of the current trend. Your trend is to the downside. The moving averages are telling that to you as well, which is all true. I mean, Bitcoin isn't a downtrend, like objectively, as long as you are below. As long as you're below, I mean, fuck, man, like this lower high right here at $90,000, like Jesus Christ, and even $80,000. I mean, for fuck's sake. So your RSI making higher lows and higher highs, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. In fact, your RSI making higher highs right here is like not necessarily a good thing because you haven't necessarily made higher highs on price just yet on a closing basis. So that is the precondition for divergence. Look. Your momentum oscillators going against your current trend, you're playing with fire, listening to those signals, generally speaking. Unless if it's a divergence signal, in which case you get like several drives. Those are, typically high probability, but just looking at them in simple terms of like crossing and, and higher highs, higher lows, it's not going to work like that. The trend is your friend. The trend is your friend. And if you fight the trend, you are fucking your friend, or actually your friend's going to fuck you, really. So yeah, man. Is it still range bound? Yeah, it is still range bound. Even if Bitcoin trades up to like $80,000 here, have to be looking for a rejection there. That's kind of the problem with this rally. It's like, I think it's doomed either way in that it's not going to be a runaway rally to $100,000. Now, I am also of the opinion that Bitcoin could very easily put in, a macro low somewhere around $60,000 to $55,000. I think that actually is possible. I think that's where I differ from a lot of people, but it could look something like this. Or, yeah, I have it drawn in there. Something like this, maybe goes a little bit higher, but still does kind of the same sort of behavior here. I think that's kind of the point that I'm trying to make. So yeah. Anyways, Evil Gargoyle with Sword says, greetings, sir. Greetings to you as well, sir. You're looking at CC versus the dollar. Okay, so we got some random crypto shitcoin, but this one actually, I remember, has done, at least from what I remember, decently. And hey, I mean, if Bitcoin rallies and continues, you got to respect the ones that have actually had a, decent history. So this one, for all the history that we do have, it's, it's certainly one of the better charts in cryptocurrency, and that's for sure. Look, if Bitcoin continues here, I'd be looking for this thing to hit around 16.20, maybe even all the way up to, 17 cents. You're on a 4 on a daily. That was the daily right there. You got low volatility. You got your RSI popping back up. You got your Krown oscillator also turning up. So yeah, could easily be a higher low. 4-hour time frame. You know, does it get to 16 cents and stop out around there? I mean, that is your 200 simple. So do be aware around there. But yeah, do I think it's going to trade higher from here? Yes, I do. Actually, I do. You know, if you're on a 4-hour, not that much higher, but yeah. Where would I confirm a reversal? Back above this high from the 5th of March, above there. And then if you need to just trade above that high, I'd be looking for this thing to return back to like probably 20 cents overall. It would take some time, obviously, but yeah. Anyways, un momento as I take a sippy sip of this water. And of course, let's actually come up with an invalidation for the downside. Like, where could we get instant bearishness? And price action pivot right here, perfectly at that inflection point, which would be 1476 right there. So yeah, as long as you're below, as long as you're above there, probably a short-term rally continues. Below there, send it to new lows on the, on this current downtrend. Yomi is saying thoughts on Japanese yen versus Aussie dollar mid to long term, please. Sure. Actually, I really do enjoy looking at Forex, but this is a pair that I can't say I've really seen before. Mid to long term. Okay, so to me that means like a weekly to a monthly on Forex. Bad. Yen going down more and more. Overall, obviously a very, very nasty downtrend here. So whenever I see something like this, I'm only looking for corrective bounces that continue lower after that. But could this one have a corrective bounce from where it's at right now, or is it more likely to go lower in the short? I think it's more likely to go lower in the short term. How much lower? Who the fuck knows? It's already in a black hole breakdown. This is the lowest the ratio's ever been ever. So it's just like a blue sky breakout. You don't try to guess where the reversal is going to be. You just understand that when you do have a bounce, just looking for lower highs. So wherever the weekly 21 is going to be probably pretty good due, and the 55 if that gets superseded. But ultimately, this thing overall very, very bearish, both medium and long term. Maybe the daily has a bounce in it, somewhat soonish, but like I said, it's just a game of looking at lower highs. This thing is obviously bear. I mean, look, it's making new fucking all-time lows. Like, it just had a quarterly lower high confirmed here in 2025 on hidden bearish divergence on Caretaker's RSI with rising volatility. Like, this thing is going more down. I think that you're gonna get somewhere down around here, like 8343, something like that, whatever the fuck that number is. Again, if we fast forward like another 6 months or something, maybe it takes a year. I don't know. Timing difficult. Freddie M says LMT been going down for a week or two. When 7750. This is Lockheed Martin, big defense contractor, and it's been going down for a week or two, but it can afford a pullback. I've been having it, or I've been anticipating a pullback right here. It looks like, I don't know, maybe down to like 620 first, or maybe even $600. But do I think that you're going to get to 750? Yeah, I do. I think that this is just a short-term thing. Honestly, man, I mean, this is objectively a good chart. This is objectively a good chart. Very likely wants to go higher, but look, we're on the quarterly right now. This quarterly can take 3 to 4 periods to play out, and that's naturally going to be 9 to 12 months. So when? Maybe at the end of this year. I don't know. I mean, again, timing very, very difficult, but the higher term time frames are still very, 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 very strong here. Quarterly hidden bullish divergence. Quarterly RSI just freshly getting back into that bullish control zone on new all-time highs. I'm bullish on this thing, man. I think any pullback that we get here is a gift from God. So if it gets down to 620, I mean, I got my alerts in here right here, you can see, or it's actually a little bit lower. Maybe I need to move that up a little bit. Can't get too greedy on something like this. But yeah, not bad. All right, cool. Degenerate Speculator says medium-term levels for FET. Please respond. I love please respond. We need to bring back please respond. FET, you talking about this thing, the crypto shitcoin? Medium-term levels? Well, I mean, I can give you support levels. I just don't think that they really matter. I mean, obviously this is bearish right here. Does it put in a lower high right here? Does it move a little bit higher? I mean, look, if you get an explosive move on one of those like one-off pumps, then I'd be looking towards 38 cents. Again, this is like fucking hopium. But if it did, I'd be looking around there for another lower high. But you're already at the 21 EMA. Might as well just top here anyways. Like I said, if it does have another stint a little bit higher, 32 to 38, somewhere around there, and just more down after that, man. This thing is not great. Not great at all. Literally already around basically all-time lows, man. It's not a good sign. So long-term, probably coming back down to officially Tesla's long-term lows at 7.5 cents, or sorry, maybe like 5. God, it's so difficult to get right. I guess it doesn't even really matter, like 5 cents, let's say, something like that. Short-term, does it continue on with the bounce? I don't know. I would generally be looking at this as the next lower high right here. Just corrected bounce to the 21 EMA on the weekly time frame. But if Bitcoin trades higher, I mean, this thing probably does get a stab up towards 32 to 38. I'd be looking for a rejection right there, though. But yeah, if your question is quite literally just levels, well, you got one right here, obviously. That's your 200 simple as well, 31.5. That's my 32 number that I was saying. And above there, you got 55 EMA, which should come down a lot, probably somewhere closer to like 38, 39 cents. So yeah, I mean, that would officially be your levels, but I don't know how much that actually matters in this case. Let's see. Investment Architect says, why is 9 years your take profit time frame for Bitcoin? Well, it started out as a 10-year back in 2025, or yes, 2025, beginning of 2025. That was just what I was just kind of honestly blindly picking a number, just being like, I want to hold these for another couple cycles. Cycle is about 4 years to 5 years, let's say. So if I fast forward another couple cycles, that's about 10 years, or that was 10 years from 2025. So now we're in 2026. So that would be about 9 years now. So yeah, that would basically be not super scientific, just going off of long-term history, basically. That's all, man. Great White Hype says, thoughts on using the 5x margin on cash and rotating in and out of STRC on X and record date. I mean, basically that's what, okay, I didn't do the 5x margin, but I did get in on X, and I'm going to sell tomorrow, actually. But yeah, staying steady at 11.5% yield, you could return 58% a year. That's, oh yeah, because you're using margin on that. I don't know the risks well enough with using margin on these sort of tools in a way that you can blow yourself up, because it's at face value, it would seem like it's basically riskless, right? Because STRC, as you're looking at, is the one that, I mean, this one really does hold its $100 level right here. So if you're at 5x margin, you get liquidated at, or margin call at 20% against your position. So if this thing came down 20%, so it'd have to come from about $100 to $80. And I mean, for what it's worth, basically since its inception, it's just been oscillating between 95 and 100, or just above 100. So that is your risk. That's what you're opening yourself up to. Be aware of that. Other than that, man, I can't make the decision for you. I also don't know, like, internally what the risks are with STRC. Like, how can they blow themselves up? Or is it so well structured that it's steady? I mean, that also just sounds like one of those things that's too good to be true, because otherwise, why wouldn't you do it on margin? Generally these sort of things, especially in traditional markets, when it comes to like long-term investments, these sort of things, I don't like to use margin. Or if you already use margin, like very, 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 very small amounts. So look, I could put it this way. Maybe I wouldn't use the full 5x margin, but if you went like 2 or even 3x, I mean, that gives you 50% versus, 30% almost, buffer zone right there before you get called. And, you could use these lows as sort of inflection points to manage off of. I don't know if it's going to work that well, to be honest with you, or, if it does blow up, it's probably going to move so fucking fast, you're not going to even have a chance to respond anyways. Yeah, I can just say that I wouldn't do that myself, but I do like holding these things for what is effectively just dividend cash. Yeah. Thomas Powers Media says, thoughts on where TYGO will be 1 month and 1 year from now. Okay, 1 year is going to be quite difficult, but let's see, 1 month, sometimes if things are obvious, and I think that it does try higher, in the next, I don't know if this is like a next month thing or the next quarter thing, but, I think you could see like a five handle on this thing. If we fast forward a year, I have no fucking idea. And I don't want to have an idea on something like this that is relatively new, that doesn't really have a clear, I mean, the long term is obviously bad here, but there is not like a clear trend except for just, blowing off your top, coming down, and kind of rounding out your bottom right here. There's no way to do, a year out from now. But, over the next month, or I would say over the next 3 months, I actually do think that you do continue this move around about $5, something like that. That's what I feel a lot more confident in saying, man. You're holding since 155. I think you got a great position, man. You got a great position. I would also take a little bit of profits here, man. You don't want to get too super greedy with these things. You're already more than 2x up. You don't have to take all your profits, maybe like 15, 20%, realize some, feel good about it, and hold the rest, $5 somewhere around there. Sounds pretty good to me. You just don't know what's going to happen in the future. Nimad Groster says, any opinions on targets for Ethereum for on daily with this current bounce? Let's see. I haven't looked at Ethereum since last week. I think it probably gets up to 2,400. I believe that's what I was saying last week as well. Somewhere around 2,400. I don't know how long that's going to take, but yeah, somewhere around it's not that much further from where you're at right now, like 2,350 to 2,400. I think it's going to find a high on this move between 2,350 to 2,450, probably closer to 2,450. I think that you at least get to 2,400 personally. Yeah, somewhere around here. Very likely pulls back from there. There is potential for more. I mean, look, on Ethereum's low, this, in my opinion, this low looks better to me than Bitcoin's low. Again, I don't think you're going to see like a runaway rally back up to like 3,000 plus from here. But, if it popped up a little bit more, tested the 200 simple, or even the 21 EMA on the weekly, and then came back down and did one of these, that would look fucking phenomenal in my opinion. And also be very much par for the course in what it's done in the past. So yeah, I do think that you have more upside here. I don't think it's going to be a runaway rally, but if we're being objective, Ethereum actually does look better on the lows than Bitcoin. And I do think that you will hit about 2,450 on this rally and then pull back. But that pullback is not necessarily a terrible thing. I think you just spend some times on the lows, which is okay. Yeah. Cool. Sweet. Let's go over to, I think we got through all of the super chats now. Let's go through some of the regular comments down here. Bud Thompson says, I have a 3D printer working on a Glock 9. That's cool. You can just print your own. That's awesome. Buy the barrel and trigger assembly kit online, but the print in lower end mags. Well, that's awesome. Krown could take a look at hype for Phil Passion. Sure. Let's see. I remember this one was actually having a pretty nice rally last time, but where is it now? Let's see. $39. Okay, so it is actually, yeah. It is. Did the daily close above the previous high right here? It hasn't yet. It's starting to look a lot better though. I'm starting to think that this one actually will have a bit of reversal here and trade back up towards 45, maybe 50. It's looking better, but in order to validate that move for me, I need to see a closure above whatever this number is here, 38, 39. Just call it $38.50. It's going to have a chance to do that today. It has not done it yet. It's had a few startup steps around here. It's going to have a chance to do that today. If it does, yeah, I think that this rally continues, and I have to look at this one as reversing right here, not as a not as a rejection. This would be your higher low. That would be your higher high. You got a reversal at that point. You have to be looking back around mid to upper 40s. So fair enough. Best channel is PSR. Oh, that's cool. All right, I can learn how to print. I can print. Like Trump, I swear he's a random number generator. It's a part of the madness, I think. I think it's just a part of the madness, man. Mr. Cowboy NZ says, love your work. Thanks, man. I will watch again your reading for Bitcoin. Thank you. All good, man. Yeah. I always save Bitcoin for the beginning of the stream. So if you want the Bitcoin analysis, the old corn analysis, that's where it typically is. It's always free money until it isn't. Yes, indeed. It's free money until it ain't. I support round bottoms. Yes, round bottoms good. Round tops also good. 2 round tops, very good. Hand width size, also very, very nice as well. See you Wednesday, folks. Take care, Mr. Hoy Hoy. What is a 5 handle? A 5 handle just means that there's a 5 anchoring the price. So like it'd be for Bitcoin, that could be like a $50,000 number. Just means that that's the first number in the sequence of numbers. So when people say like a 5 handle for Bitcoin, that'd be $50,000. Or, if you're talking about Ethereum, if you're talking about a 3 handle, you'd be talking about $3,000. something like that. Most insane FRT yet. Yeah, man, I'm pretty split on FRTs. I feel like I should probably just put one in one of my builds just to have fun with it. But I don't know, man. I've seen some people use them, and it seems nearly impossible to be accurate with those damn things. Like, it seems like they're mostly just for range toys, which is cool. Like, hey, I'm not against range toys at all, but yeah, range toys are range toys at the end of the day. All right, Payne wants to look at XAN. Okay, we'll look at some random shitcoin here. Great. Still got some people in the old shitcoin drawer, but I don't know. Sometimes you do see good ones. This is absolutely not it. Holy shit, man! What sort of fucking jungle juice are you drinking, man? God, sad, just sad. Look, this is a down only chart, man. Like, you don't even need to fucking tell you that, man. I'm not gonna play into any delusions of grandeur with bullshit like this. This thing is, whether it tops out exactly where you're at right now, whether it goes even a little bit higher towards 1.5 cent, I don't know. I think it probably does just top out here. The long-term direction is down. This is fucking garbage, man. It's fucking garbage. And I'm sorry to be the one to tell you this, because I'm sure that you've been fed a bunch of bullshit by influencers who are getting paid on the back end to pump up this shit with, you know, making you think that it's going to be the next, you know, the second coming. And it's not. It's not. It's fucking not. This is garbage, 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 garbage. Fucking garbage. Suzu says IPI. Sure. On Nicey. Gotcha. All right. Real stonks again. Yeah. See, when you have a real stonk, they're not necessarily any better. But at least this one has a little bit of a chance here, I guess, because you actually do have a higher high in comparison to this high. It's hard to trust shit like this, honestly. I am inclined to say, though, that you probably do get another stab up towards $55. You know, if we fast forward a couple months from now, it's not great. Short term, coming back down, try for a higher low somewhere around like $37.5 to $38.5. It's just hard to trust shit like this. But if I had to call it, do I think that you extend this move a little bit more, maybe into the mid 50s? I think it's a little bit more likely. It's just long term. It's bad. Don't like it. Don't like it, sir. But what if you're Oscar the Grouch? I don't even know who that is. Hype doesn't look terrible. I agree. It actually does not look terrible there. It almost had the weekly reversal confirmed as well. So got to respect that, man. Got to stick by the guns. Anyone messing with XLU these days? Can't say I know what it is off the top of my head. This State Street Utilities, well, whatever it is, fucking good. Quarterly making new all-time highs right now. I'm going to go off on a limb here and say this thing's going to continue to make new highs this month and probably the next quarter as well. FRT almost definitely covered by bump stock ban. We're watching closely. GOA is working on getting them into FL, but do not import until the law changes. PSR vid, cool though. PSR vid, cool. I like it. Mr. Krown, can you explain potential airdrop with Metasignals NFT? So Metasignals is going to do a token. I think it depends on a few things right now, how they're going to do it. I don't think it's going to be an airdrop. No. I think with the NFT, it's going to give you the opportunity to buy the token, but I don't think that everything's been decided with that just yet. But I do know that they want to push towards a token in order to do this project. So I'll put it that way, man. Other than that, I just don't have any more insight into what's going on there. He likes garbage and he doesn't need your judgment. Fair enough. If you like Oscar the Grouch likes garbage and he doesn't need your judgment. Fair enough. Fair enough. Oscar the Grouch, more garbage for you, sir. There's plenty of garbage in the crypto space and even in church markets too. He was a junkie. Fucking Daniel. Are you expecting more downside in Bitcoin? Says Crypto Money Mantra. You can fast forward to the beginning of this video to get my full thoughts on it. But if I give it like the 5-second explanation, I think right now Bitcoin objectively is in a position to continue up to $77,000, $80,000. My personal opinion is that it will not. My personal opinion is that it probably does top here, but I do not confirm that belief. I do not validate that until you're closing back down below Friday's low of like, what is it, $70,000, let's call it, on a daily time frame. Until then, you should be favoring short-term upside. Like, that is how these things typically do work. But my personal opinion is that I've seen this, I feel like I've seen this book before. I've read this book a few times, and I see rejections around these regions very, very often. So yeah. Krown, can I buy the NFT with my credit instead? I don't think so. You can ask in MetaSignal's Discord. I think I have a link to them right here. Yeah. Here is a link to MetaSignal's right here. It'll take you to their website, and then you should enter the Discord from their website. That's just the best way to ensure that you are actually in their Discord. But it's right there, and you can literally ask their glorious leader, Nathan, yourself, and he'll be the best person to answer that question. Circle, yeah, we could look at Circle. Still patiently waiting for my own position in this thing, but I think it's going to be a while longer. Man, I really do think that this thing will reverse from here and will come back down to like 60, 70. But it's been proving me wrong the whole way up, the whole way fucking up, man. But I still really do think that. I don't think we're going to see a runaway rally here. That's just my personal opinion. But again, I have no skin in the game on this one. I do want skin in the game. But so far, I've been wrong about it. So far, I've been pretty wrong about it. But look, if I'm looking at this chart, am I concerned that this one has truly reversed? No, I'm not. Almost always, especially in traditional markets, you get a higher low first on the weekly, at least, before confirming a real reversal. And this thing does not have a higher low. It doesn't really have a higher high. I mean, this is still operating within the context of a downtrend. So I'm going to always go with that. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. You know, I'll take my lashings and everything. That's fine. But I stick with my guns because, you know, these are the same behaviors that have allowed me to do what I've done throughout my career. So, you know, if I miss it, I miss it. Okay, whatever. You know, life goes on. I go on to the next thing. But I'm still patiently waiting on this thing. I do think that it will come back down with either somewhere between 80 to 60. And that's where I'd like to pick it up personally. So, yeah. Evo Goggle with Sword says, Zer, TRX Daily Weekly. All right. To be fair, TRX actually has had one of the better charts this cycle for cryptos, but I don't know, man. It's just hard to trust this thing as well. Knowing what you know about their glorious leaders. I don't know, man. Weekly here is not bad, you know, based off of that $27 number off of the green 55 EMA. I mean, this is still okay. This is a corrective move first and foremost. So corrective in the context of an uptrend should be a higher low. So should be looking back up towards, you know, 30, 31 cents, 32 cents, and anywhere above your January high is confirmation of a retest of this previous high around 40 cents. So yeah, I mean, monthly is objectively not bad here. You know, if I had to bet on it, I think this is going to be your next higher low. And you do have hidden bullish evidence here on Caretaker's RSI. Now it is contingent upon this month's ability to close above 29.25 cents, but as of right now, you're above there, and on low volatility, I would have to be favored and move back up towards these highs and probably beyond. Yeah. 500 people watching, video sitting at 160 likes. Figure it out, people, and show your support, says Enzo. I appreciate it, of course, but at the end of the day, you can do what the fuck you want to do, man. Whether the likes come in or whether they don't, the channel will continue on. We will continue on. We will continue to do what we do here. No, I'm not continuing unless you like the video. I promise, man. I need the likes. Give me the likes, please. Lots of people FOMOing into Circle and holding breath for Clarity Act. Yeah, I think it's going to be one of those sell the news type things. You know, once you get your Clarity Act either passing or being rejected, whatever, the result is probably going to be the same. It's probably going to pull back a lot. So typically how those things works, I'll be there to pick things up when the dust settles, but not before then, man. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Like I said. The inventor of Tron is from the city I'm moving back to in a few months. Are you from China? You talking about Justin Sun? Because I'm pretty sure he's the inventor or the main guy in it. Something like that, man. Hey, what's up, Nova Sparks? Happy Monday to you as well, sir. I've noticed when I checked Bitcoin futures that there's a gapple at around 79,600. Let's go into it. Is there? You're talking about this right here? No. Oh, you're talking about this right here. Yeah, I mean, technically a little bit higher than that, close to about 81. So yeah, you know, just another thing that does suggest, hey, if Bitcoin gets there, I'd be looking for a pullback. So for me, like I've been saying, whether Bitcoin tops out right here, and has a big pullback, I think it's all the same shit, really, man. We're not going to see anything significant above $80,000 in the medium or long term, in my opinion. And I don't think we're going to see anything significant below maybe like 55-ish in the medium term as well. Long term, you know, end of this year might change. But for right now, I'm still looking at this as this is a potential macro low in my book. It's not ready to launch up into like a full on uptrend. It's just range on the lows in a transitional market. Over Playful says, hey, Krown, quick question. Why do you use specifically the 55 EMA rather than the 50 EMA or the 50 simple? Because generally I put more faith in Fibonacci numbers, and 55 is a Fibonacci number that is close to 50, but it's 55. And I mean, at the end of the day, just results, you know, I find that the results are very similar, but slightly better for the 55. Chris Fellows says, Tau have a chance. We looked at it earlier. I still think it's garbage. I still think that you're just basically looking for the next major top, and I can understand why. Or I can definitely see a potential top right around here. Now, if I'm wrong, you'll know, because all it has to do is just close a daily above $300, or what is it? 302. If it closes above 302, I think you'll have a nice extension of this move to like 330 to 350, but still long term. I mean, this is still garbage long term. This is an asset that wants to continue downtrending. This is not good. Okay, another quick insight into long-term analysis. When you see an asset in a long-term downtrend that just made a new lower low, which it did right here, the rally back up is a corrective rally. And the main game you should be playing, the game that is going to return you the most money long-term, is to be looking for the next lower high. So whether it's here at $300, whether it has another boost up to like 350, I don't know. I'm inclined to say probably it stops here. The trend is your friend. The trend is fucking down. It's really never even been in a real uptrend anyway. It's been down only since December of 2024. So it's just garbage, man. Just garbage. Yeah, Peter Underwood has my thoughts perfectly, pretty much. The Tau scam pump. Yeah, that's how I look at these things. And I understand there's a strong community. And apparently there's a lot of people from the Tau community who repost my videos and don't like what I have to say. But look, I'm just following the trend. It's been correct. You can hate me if you want, but it doesn't change the trend. So that's all I'm doing, man. It's not that I legitimately hate this asset, that I want you to lose money. No, it's just, I'm going to call a fucking spade a spade, because I'm not a fucking bag holder community member like you. And also I'm not being paid by their foundation to promote bullshit. And even if they were, I wouldn't fucking take it anyways, because I don't need to. Like, who gives a fuck? You know, what are they going to pay you? Like 5,000 Taus? Great. I saw a dream that the great landowner Krown tasked me to count some markers on a huge plot of forest, and he scoffed when I used a nail gun to run through some marker device and it broke. I don't know what that means, but we should feed that to ChatGPT and figure out whether you want to have sex with your mom or not, because that's what these typically come down to. Rob Radier says, GM Krown, what's up, man? Can you take a look at Poet? Please tell me that this isn't some random shit coin again. Okay, thank God. Oh, that was a close one. Well, timeframes would be interesting. In long term, man, I'm not a humongous fan of these charts, obviously. But if there ever was a chance for this thing to reverse, this would be it. You got monthly higher highs and higher lows. So I think that you can actually treat this one as bullish, a bullish reversal, as long as you're above last month's low, which is 513. Do I think it's going to be a humongous winner? I don't know. Probably not. Not a big fan of this overall, but I can understand, you know, why someone would potentially get into it. And I mean, maybe target a move back to like $9 or $10. I think it's not a bad do there. Comment anything and thumb it up for the algos as free setter. Fuck yeah, man. Hell yeah. We love free setter. Do you hold any Swiss francs? I do not. No. Dollar versus Swiss franc. Sure. We can look at it. Another interesting Forex token. Dollar getting absolutely cream pied here. This rally can go higher, but overall, obviously, it is very bearish. And I'm not even that confident that it even goes higher. This is a good place for another lower high. If it does go higher, I'd be looking for another lower high at like 80 cents or 81 cents, something like that. Overall, this is disastrous. But yeah, I see why you're bouncing here. You're bouncing off of that previous low. So it is very possible that it does get up to like a low 80 or maybe even a mid 80 cent. But again, it's just a game of looking for the next lower high. Long term, the direction is very much obvious. As someone who loves Tau, it is an altcoin and therefore will lose most of its value 90% of its time in existence. That is a hard stat to argue. Look, it might be a great product. It doesn't necessarily mean that the coin number will go up. You know, there's been many instances of that as well. Any altcoin protocol can do the coolest thing ever and be super useful, and the value of its native token will just go down anyways. Yeah, 100%. 100%. I think that's a very, very valid view to hold. I mean, shit, man, like you could look at the company Ripple, and the company Ripple is actually like quite successful and quite good, but their token, like it's been okay. It's not been the best investment, that's for sure. Yeah, man. Nova Spark says, Krown, did you ever dabble with Forex in any serious capacity, or did you do more commodity trading? Neither to both, honestly. I mean, my experience with Forex was maybe like a year and a half of trading it offhand, not focusing on it as much, still trading crypto, or still trading Bitcoin is what it really was. Commodities, less so. No. In the past, when I was actually a professional market maker, authorized trader, I was trading just equities. Like that was my title. It was equity options. So, you know, the main names, a lot of the big tech companies was what I was involved in, and also some of the major indices like SPY as well. Cool. War 2422 says DTREF. Okay, so I think it's a new one. I can't say. Oh, it's an OTC. Basically an altcoin, but at least a good altcoin right here. It goes up. I like the higher low. I like that it's already around that previous high. I don't know if it's ready to break out right now, but I do think that it will probably, given enough time. All we need to see is a daily closure above 33.5 cents. And at that point, I'm looking for this thing to rally back up towards these highs, maybe continue on. In the short term, I'm not so confident it's going to bust through right here, but as long as you're above this 20-cent low, it's bullish, objectively. Sorry, you said daily, but it's going to be the same analysis on a daily, to be fair. Daily's pretty good. I mean, you got another higher low right here as well. So maybe it actually does have the juice to break up, but this is still my inflection point at 33.5 cent. I think it will break to the upside. It's just a matter of, it's more of a question of time rather than, will it do it or will it not? Crypto Ninja says INSG on the weekly. Okay. INSG. Gotcha. Inseego Corporation. Kind of similar one right here. I like the higher low. I'm bullish as long as you're above 1070, and I'm looking for this one to pop back up towards the range highs at 1380, 14 bucks, whatever. Long term, or you're on the weekly. So even the weekly, I think probably does mount another rally here. Again, it's bullish as long as you're above this low from February at 867. Price action pivot right here. Now, do I think it's going to reverse back up to these? No, this is a garbage long-term shitcoin chart. So ultimately, the rally is doomed long-term. But can you see an extension of this back up here? Yeah. You know, back to like 14, you know, if you reclaim 14, then this thing should get another try around this, you know, $20 high. Definitely possible. It doesn't really change the long term. I mean, this thing is heavily fucking bearish as long as you're above, as long as you're below like 60 or 70 bucks. But, you know, that does offer up some nice leeway for some upside here. If I had to call it, I think it probably does get to like $20 or so. Something like that, man. One moment. Straight passes. Can we take a look at iron? Sure. IREN on nows. M daily and weekly. Kind of have to give it the benefit of the doubt here. It's trying to put in a base above that 55 EMA. So I like the price action pivot here at 33.34, just kind of generally being optimistic on it as long as you're above there. Long term, but do I think it's like ready for a screaming move to the upside? No, I think that this thing is going to be caught within a range for a while. You found your range lows. You're probably going to rally up closer to your range highs at like low 50s, mid 50s, whatever. I just don't think you're going to see anything like super interesting long term, or sorry, medium term here. Even in the short term right now on the daily, this one's a little bit more problematic. It's going to have a chance to actually break above 44.25, which if it can do today, then yeah, I think that you do get this move back up here to like 58 or 60 or whatever. But I still think it's going to look like this, man. I think the LARP lines here are still directionally correct. I think it's along sideways after a beautiful move to the upside, and it's going to take a long time to kind of sort itself out. But again, long-term objectively bullish as long as you're above that 33, 34 pivot. So I don't know. This could take, this could take many months. That's kind of my point. And you're like, you likely found the lows here. It's just going to go sideways for a while. So opportunity cost might be against you. Cool. All the years of my life that match the fib numbers have all been retraces, and I'm 51 now, so looking forward to 61. Wait, what? They've been retraces? You retraced your life, or you retraced your age, or how did that work, sir? I'm not clear. Imagine having to trade natural gas. Yeah, that's exactly my point, man. It's so geopolitically driven and event driven that your edge as a technical analyst there is very diminished. So I personally don't like to look at these things or put too much on them. Over Playful has a really interesting question. He says, "Hey, Krown, thoughts on this? On Bitcoin, we're about to close on a quarterly. Hold on. Yep, in a couple of weeks, we will. And it's a bearish Heikin-Ashi candle. So I'm not a Heikin-Ashi guy. I can put it on Heikin-Ashi, but again, I want to. Where the fuck is it? There it is. You know, I can tell you straight up, like, I'm not the guy to ask about this. I don't spend my time studying Heikin-Ashi. But you go on to say that the last 3 instances, which you got your first red candle, have led to 50% retracement or more downside in price. Yeah, I agree. That is true. Absolutely. This time's different. I don't know, man. I really don't know. I don't want to say too much on this just because, well, I can validate what you say, but like obviously anyone with eyes can look at that. I just don't know exactly how these plays because I'm not a Heikin-Ashi guy. So I don't trust my opinion on that, any more than the next guy or really any more than somebody who spent, more than like a fucking week or two of studying it, to be honest with you. But yeah, I see what you're saying. I'm just saying it's not my cup of tea. So I don't want to say anything personally. Be like, yeah, definitely down 50% from here. See what you're saying? Just, yeah. Anyways, Brillo says DUOL. Okay. DUOL. Duolingo is IPO. The fuck? Yeah, their chart looks exactly as I expected. Yeah, Duolingo kind of massively reduced their need with AI coming out. I mean, why would you use this? But yeah, fair enough. I guess maybe the interface is cool or something like that. Look, you filled the gap over here. You're bouncing from that. I think this is a pity bounce. I think this is overall terrible long term, obviously. Can you bounce more than what you've already done? Maybe, but it's just like a shit coin. It's like if you're trying to get the bounces in a monumental downtrend, you're playing a more difficult game than just getting on the lower highs. So I don't know how high or when this thing will bounce. Maybe it gets up to 130, maybe it gets up to 150 or 160. I don't know, but I'd just be looking for lower highs. And do I think you're going to bounce more from here? I guess, maybe. Again, this is very, very difficult. It's just long-term, the direction's down. Short-term, probably do get another move to 105, maybe 125, something like that. But I'll just be looking for lower highs. I don't think that this thing's going back above that $550 high. I mean, dare I say ever? Probably can't say ever, but let's just say a very, 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 very long time. If we fast forward enough, it's a lot more likely to be back down around these all-time lows at 50 or 60 bucks than it is to pop back up above $300 even. It's bad. The 2 great lies: nothing ever happens, and this time is different. Yeah, right, exactly. Sandman is letting me know that I've forgotten BE, or maybe I just didn't want to look at it. We can look at BE. Fine. Still good. I don't have anything different about it to say about it other than last week. I don't see any reason to be bearish on this thing. I think overall it's bullish. I think that you probably make new highs. I don't know, probably not this month, but maybe April or May. This thing is objectively bullish as long as you're above, especially the price action pivot here, which is 75.5, which is not very helpful because that's so fucking far down. But yeah, it's the problem when you go parabolic like this. Your pivots get further and further away from you, so those positions inherently become a lot more risky. Short term probably plays out a downside move. I think you're still consolidating around these highs. If it popped back down to like 115 first and then put in a higher low and then continued up, that wouldn't surprise me all that much. Excuse me. DUOL, a bearish Soloway classic. Okay, hopefully he's bearish on it. I mean, be quite embarrassing if you were not. Hey, what's up, David, Mr. Polano? UEC, uranium stock, sure. Let's see what this one's looking like. Short-term down. I think you probably come a little bit closer to this previous low from last week. Does it bounce off of like 12.25 again? Probably, yeah, as well. Yeah, other than that, I don't have strong opinions here. I do think that this one is more corrective in the short term than not. And I do think at some point you do retest that yellow 21 EMA, which is rising up probably next month. It gets to like 10.5, maybe even $11, somewhere around there. I think that you do make that corrective move, but it's good. I mean, that should be an opportunity. Like, it's not necessarily bad right now. Rosetta Stone now free for Uber drivers. Really? That's cool. Freddie M says CVX, how high by end of month? Like, dude, you can't ask these questions. No one fucking knows. I have no fucking idea. No one does. No one does, sir. Like, no one. I don't have a crystal ball. No one has a crystal ball except for the goddamn witches. How high by? It still looks good. Look, this is bullish. Like, if you're holding this just for the end of the month, I have to say a strong, you fucking moron. This is a long-term play here. You can hold it to the end of the month and it probably does go higher. But if you're only holding it to the end of the month, I mean, Jesus Christ, man, the quarterly is about to close on new fucking all-time highs. Like, why are you concerned about the end of this month? This thing is literally freshly breaking out. I can't say this more aggressively. Maybe I should seek a position in this one though. I went to their gas station the other day. It's good. They have a good business. They also have really good diesel prices compared to everyone else. Look, man, it's bullish. How high is it by the end of the month? I don't fucking know. Do I think it's going to retest maybe like 190 before end of month and then try to the upside? Maybe that happens in April. I don't know. But I can say long term, this is among the best chart, maybe the best chart that we've seen this whole fucking stream in traditional markets at least. Yeah. Let's see what else we got here. Looking for an opinion on Rigaku. Okay. I mean, Japanese markets, so maybe a bit different, but TSEJ. No, I don't think this is what you're looking at. I don't think it's on TradingView, man. I don't think I can pull that one up. People are better off asking rip or dip. Yeah. Look, this is absolutely a rip. Okay. 99.9% probability being a rip. What exact price is it going to get to? I have no fucking clue, man. I have no fucking clue. Still think overall you're going to see this thing probably around 250. You know, if we fast forward, I don't know, like 3 to 6 months, but timing is a very difficult thing to do. Very, very difficult thing to do. Get yourself a good diesel fuel additive to help longevity on your new truck. What is that? Like, is that like DEF fluid or DEF fluid, diesel exhaust fluid? Let's see what we got. Brillo says EQT, weekly, monthly. EQT. Okay. I think it's a new one as well. Yeah, really good. Really, really good. Bullish engulfing dildo on the quarterly time frame. I need to ask about it, but it's good. Monthly, new highs. You know, is this thing going to float its way up to like probably $100 if we fast forward another 6 months to a year? Probably, yeah. Like overall, this is good. There's nothing to be bearish on this thing as long as you're above $50 right here. A lot of risk to wait for that, but yeah, I mean, you're on the precipice of a real mega massive breakout. I mean, getting a bullish engulfing on new all-time highs is generally a very, very strong signal. So yeah, is this the bottom for Bitcoin? Sell my house now? Don't think that you can say that right now, man. No, it is a bottom. Is it the macro low? I think is the question that you're asking. Certainly would not call it right now. Sell the house and sell your wife and sell all of your children too to slavery and buy some coins. Sell your wife or husband. Thank you for that, Nova Sparks. Appreciate that. Hot shots for my 7 spot 3 worked great. Really made the injectors quiet. Really? Huh. Let's see. XMR. Yeah, we can look at Monero. I'm actually quite curious myself. Has this one broken down or is it trying to steady the line there? It is trying to steady the line. This is actually looking a little more interesting here. I think this one does carry on with a move towards like $400. I don't know if I'd say I'm bullish on it. You know, this is technically correct to move because you've already had that wick up right there. Oh, God. Okay. Fuck. This is a hard one. Just like Bitcoin, it either rejects here or rejects at about $400. Which one is it going to reject at? I don't know, but there's a lot of good reason to believe that it will reject right here. You're coming into contact with all of these major moving averages on the daily time frame. Like, I would confirm a reversal if it comes back down below yesterday's low and closes below there. Until then, I think that there is a shot for another move above $400. But still, I'd be looking for a pullback there as well. Quarterlies, I mean, yeah, not anything super conclusive right here, to be fair. One moment. I will sell my Camry now to hedge Nova. Fair enough, man. I like the idea. You are hedging your risk. It's good. It's very good. And buy the Chevron brand to support our CVX. Can I buy it like at their gas station or something? That would be pretty useful. Let's see. Brillo is back. He says one more IEF. Man, a lot of I's. Or I feel like all of these kind of rhyme with each other. Oh, this is bond ETF. I do have to say bonds trade differently. I'm not a bond guy. I like James Bond, but I don't like bonds. I really don't know when it comes to bonds. I don't think that they play technically in the way that we expect them to. But if you're putting this chart in front of my face and you said Krown, analyze it or die, I would say, and I'm just applying technical know-how to this, not like bond analysis and, oh, is the herb dealer going to do this? And what are they going to do? I would say down from here. And down from here because hidden bearish divergence, 1, 2, 3 drives coming off these last few highs. You're in a downtrend. You're being governed by the 55 EMA and the monthly. Have to respect that. Good place for another lower high. That's how I'd look at it right there. Is it going to play like that? I don't fucking know because I'm, again, not a bond guy. DPRO, Dragonfly. Dare I look at this? Oh, it's at least a stock. Hold on. I clicked the wrong one. Bad stock. Very bad stock. Hidden bearish divergence on another lower high. This thing is a lot more likely to come back down to $2 than it is to pop back up towards fucking $15 or $20. Maybe I normally go to advanced auto parts. Oh, okay. So you do it through them, then you go there. Gotcha. Stock E, just like symbol E. Is it this? You got to be the one to let me know, man. I can't say I've ever looked at that one. Yeah, better off saying Ripper instead of just laying into poor Freddie M there. What else we got here? Lots of choices, but Motor Oil Geek and Cummins recommend Power Service Diesel Clean plus cetane boost. Should be similar at gas station. Should be something similar at gas station. Okay, I need to save this and ask Chat about this. Ask ChatGPT about this because I'm not so familiar with this. Let me just write this down. Okay, cool. Save that for later. Hey, why no work? Oh, not working. Okay, maybe. Oh, you bastard. Hold on. It formatted the chat very bizarrely in my note-taking application right here. Hold on. Wait. There. Fixed it. Okay. All right. Yeah, man. I want to take care of my truck because I absolutely love that truck. It's great, man. I fucking love it. Stock E is Italian. Okay. All right. We'll go to Italian market. What is even the Italian market here? I legitimately do not know. I'm guessing maybe BYMA. I have no fucking clue. None. Bitcoin dominance on the weekly. I think Bitcoin dominance is the most irrelevant bullshit chart, and I think the people focusing on it are grasping at straws to remain relevant while talking about complete fucking bullshit that literally doesn't matter at all. If you're looking at fucking Bitcoin dominance right now, you are a fucking retard. And I say that in the most sincere way, in the sense that you're actually a retard. Like, not like a derogatory term, but just like you're mentally incapacitated because you've not fucking learned a goddamn thing. When this thing has come down, did it benefit alts at all? No. When it went up, was it telling you anything unique? Fucking no. If you want to know if your shitcoin, if your stupid fucking bullshit shitcoin, which likely has zero value to begin with, but even if it is worthwhile checking out, just look at your stupid fucking shitcoin versus Bitcoin as the underlying pair. That is going to be significantly more powerful than looking at this. If you've been looking at this chart, you've been seeing this as a top, which it is, and you should have been bullish on altcoins for the past year almost. In which case, you're an idiot because altcoins in general, 99.9% of them have gone down only during that time. And to not understand that simple fact is just fucking asinine. Just fucking silly. Just fucking silly, man. Like, I just can't, like, not only the people who are talking about this, in my opinion, very silly, but the people who are listening to that and then still not, despite all of the overwhelming evidence that they are absolutely looking at the wrong thing, have not figured it out yet, are just like, look, at the end of the day, content is made for people to just hear what they want to hear. They don't actually care in general if it's correct or not. They just want to be told what they want to hear. That is 80% of viewers of any content. Also mine as well, I'm sure. You know, I'm no different. But the thing is that the people who are listening to bullshit like that, I mean, for fuck's sake, like really, fucking really, just you've had a year of evidence of this thing not operating the way that you expected to operate, and yet you still put some weight on this bullshit. It's unbelievable. It's truly unbelievable. Eon Nicey, we can look at that. Whoops, that's not Nicey. Like I said, I'm also redacted too. Whatever this thing is good. Well, in the short term, it's good. Yeah, you got a reversal here. So I do think that you will challenge these highs officially at $55. Should be expecting a pullback around those highs, but it's not a bearish pullback. It's just come back down, set in a higher low, try higher later. Yeah. Someone did indeed ask about Bitcoin dominance, and I couldn't stop myself. I couldn't help myself. I couldn't help myself. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I mean, look, when you have to rely on your Bitcoin dominance analysis to remain relevant, because it's the one thing that you can get fucking right, and it doesn't even matter to begin with. Like, Bitcoin dominance as a metric does not fucking matter. It really doesn't. If you want to find out if your stupid shitcoin is bullish, just look at it versus Bitcoin. That's the best way, or even just look at it versus the dollar. This has no value, has zero value. It has not had any value for a long time as well. It's just insane, man. It's fucking insane. Italian oil major. ENI. Okay, on Milan. All right, that would make a lot more sense. All right, let's check this one out. There we go. Hey, thank you for that, man. I appreciate it. It is basically the same chart as before. And I'd say the same thing here too. I think that you do. It is different numbers though, but it's a very similar looking chart. I do think that you will retest these highs at 25, 26, whatever these highs are right here from 07, 08. Should be a pullback as well from those highs. But again, similar to the other one, a pullback into a higher low is likely. What else we got, man? What else we got? Do we got anything else? Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. I'll wait around for, or actually, probably should shut it off. We're already at 11 a.m. here. It's getting late in the day. It's like after this PP matters or doggy coin. Yeah. Yeah. Actually, just out of curiosity, what does doggy coin? Yeah, I mean, just irrelevant bullshit. Totally irrelevant bullshit. It moves, but it's like you're majoring in minor things, as the great Tony Robbins would say. You're majoring in minor things. You are studying the thing that is not giving you the big return. Great job. MicroStrategy 1 week, 33 day, 1 day. Wait, what? I'm not sure what you mean by that, man. What's your take on gold and metals for the next year? I think gold has generally topped, and that'll be fully confirmed. Not right now. And I've been saying that it's topped for a while now. It'll be fully confirmed once this thing actually comes back down and closes below about 4,600. In the short term, I still think that this thing is corrective. Short term, probably should see a move down to like 4,900 and a bounce, something like that. Wait, it's 2 p.m. Am I drunk? I'm just in a different time zone, sir. Any thoughts on Night of the Seven Kingdoms? I hear that it's really, really good, man. It's probably right up my alley too, but I've not watched a single episode, unfortunately. Nike double bottom. Let's check it out. Yes. Oh, derp. There it is. Let's see. Coming down hard and long-term looking worse. I mean, you're probably gonna get another pity bounce off of this low from March or April of last year. I don't think it's a good low though. I don't think that it holds overall, but yeah, you probably do get a pity bounce from there and then continue lower overall. Getting back down to these numbers is not a good thing. Ultimately, I do think that it moves lower, but yeah. Brillo says NVM. Never mind. LOL. Last one. NTDOI. Is this Nintendo? NTDOI. Elsa loves her Game Boy. It's great. I think that this likely is your next higher low here. This short-term move, I think, is just going to play between the 21 and the 5 EMA. So something like this, perhaps, like short-term continuation, pullback, hopefully get that higher low. Even anywhere around here is a higher low still. But long-term, have to respect a chart like this. It's good. It's good. Just short-term, it's like, what sort of ebbs and flows does this take? I think that you do get another shot at $15. But I also am looking at this as a likely low. I mean, shit, the monthly is almost a bullish engulfing dildo and will be if it closes above 1638 by end of month. So, yeah. J Meg says DGXX. DGXX. Okay. Digi Power. Sounds legit. Looks terrible. This is another lower high. I'm going to guess it's on hidden bearish divergence. Am I right? I am right. I think this one's coming back down, man, towards these lows. Very bad. Knights of the Seven Kingdoms is slow, not that good so far. Oh, okay. Interesting. I was actually hearing quite good things about it, but fair enough. When will we see a correction in Bitcoin and Ethereum? Well, let me look at my crystal ball. The rallies can't last for forever. I mean, sir, it's just been going literally straight down for the past like 5 months. I think it can rally. It can rally for some time. Go back to the beginning of this video. I go into significant detail with Bitcoin. I'm not going to do that right now because, well, we're at the end of this bitch. Yeah, your kids love the NES. Yeah, man, it's a classic system. I mean, honestly, those games do hold up. Like, they are fun. Hi, Krown. Are you buying some MetaSignals coins? I mean, I will get some as for being, an advisor on their project when it launches. Will I buy them? I probably won't need to buy them. I'm also an investor, so I should get some like I should get some fucking coins. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'm sure they'll have more information about that soon. I think it's not that far away. I think once they stop selling their NFT at the end of this month, then they're going to be full focus on the token. But yeah, as far as this chart goes, though, I'm looking down from here, man. Not good at all. Very, very bad. Would you sell a GLD call spread? Let's check it out. Excuse me. Wait, why isn't GLD like the top of the list here? Oh, it is. I'm just literally redacting myself. Yeah, I shouldn't be talking shit about anyone when I'm fucking this redacted. Would I sell a call spread? I'm eyeing the 480 strike. So when it comes to selling spreads, I prefer to go above whatever, in this case, in selling a call spread, I prefer to go above the most recent local high. So that would be more like 492. I can understand why you do 480 because it's basically last week's high, which would also be a good reversal point. But the reason why I would personally choose like a 490 versus a 500. So like the 490, 500 call spread, I'd sell that because if it does take out last week's high, that would be indicative to me that it is reversing back to the upside. And I would just buy the underlying stock and cover that position. So then I'd have a covered call plus a short call spread. So basically the upside is covered. I would make the difference between whatever this high is right here, 480 to 490. So that would be a win. And then I'm also going to take because that short call is covered, I'd also pull in that money. And then I'd have long deltas at 500 if it gets around there, which I wouldn't mind having if it did take out last week's highs. So that's the way that I would do it. That's how I think about these sort of things. So I could see why you do it like that, and that's how I'd set it up. I personally would prefer like 490 to 500 because it gives you that leeway. And if you do have the equity to do covers like that, it is going to be more optimal, generally speaking. It's going to give you more options and opportunities, and actually will literally put more money in your pocket if done correctly. So yeah. Have you got a stock market opinion for the next year? Wondering if it's worth putting money into stocks? ISA. My general opinion on stocks is that actually we see a major top like between now and basically beginning of 2027. Yeah. So would I put in money right here? I mean, I never think it's a bad idea to DCA. Like, you don't have to put all of your money in, man. You can put in maybe like 15%, and because it's always possible that you can be wrong. And it's always possible that I could be wrong. I mean, fuck, man, I'm wrong all the time. But I stay alive by hedging my bets. And when it comes to long-term investments, I'm happy to buy, in this case, a nice corrective movement. I mean, this is already, what, 10% down or more? No, it's not. It's nowhere near 10%. Well, I do think that it comes down a little bit more, perhaps more long-term. But, my point is that even if I'm bearish, I will still buy downside moves for long-term positions because you never know. And it's just good long-term investment behavior. I don't like betting against the market long-term, basically. So yeah. Krown, find some place to shoot skeet. Like my cums, you'll be hooked. I know I will. That's why I can't get a shotgun, man. I can't do it. Actually, the range that I go to actually does have skeet shooters. Did somebody think skeet was slang for small Islamists? Is that a thing? No, it's not, but that is pretty funny. Um, shit, man. Okay, I think we're probably done for the day. Yeah, I'm getting a little bit tired myself, and I think, yeah, it's time to get on with the rest of the day. I have a lot of errands to run today. Gotta take my blood as well. Should be fun. Should be fun. Anyways, it could be considered a dirty South term as well. Oh yeah, yeah, of course, like the old Dave Chappelle, skeet, 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 motherfucker. Yeah, great times, man. Fucking classic, Dave Chappelle. Anyways, yeah, that's a good place for us to leave off, man. I'm very happy to be here with you on this nice little Monday morning. It's a pleasure as always. We'll be back on with another live stream Wednesday and Friday as usual, and then Tuesday, tomorrow, we'll just do a regular video upload. Later today, I will upload the trend video for YouTube. Obviously, if you're already in the TA11 playlist, which again is 100% free right here, you've already got it basically. But hey, if you want to just see it on YouTube, then it is there as well. Other than that, I want to sign off. Like I said, also I've completely forgot to mention, we do have, of course, our sale going on. Our sale is 20% off for every little thing that is in Teachable. The code is 8YEAR right there. 8, the number 8, and then in all capitals, YEAR. No spaces, no nothing like that. 20% off, no exceptions. All good. We shall reconvene later. And as always, wish you the